Hey guys, it's Chrissy Senpai Art again today, and today we're drawing just a bunch of grass Pokemon, just because. Actually there was a reason for this. Really the story is, I like to watch Pokemon challenge videos, especially while I am drawing, doing the arts, especially like my dry bread, was one of my favorites. I interact with them a lot, or try, comment on their stuff a lot, and like it all. But that's where this kind of started from, and I'm like, you know what, I want to do my own kind of mini challenge. So I decided, hey, all grass type Kanto run for Leaf Green, because Leaf Green I like more than Fire, only because the version exclusives are literally nothing different in the game but the version exclusives. But I love the version exclusives so much more, even though I prefer Oddish and Gloom, especially Gloom. Gloom is my favorite of the three, to Victory Bell and all that. But I still like them a lot. I don't really know which one I'm going to do next if I do another. I want to do a water type one next, like a water type Kanto. I do want to do other generations. Maybe like a baby Pokemon altogether type thing. I don't know. This was just a random thing. But anyway, the reason I did this because I did my own Leaf Green grass starter run, or not starter, team run, and oh my god, I don't know how some of these guys do it without screaming, because I know grass types are pretty, poopy, defensively. Most of them are absolutely bad. Oddly enough, Tangela was, my tankiest member, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, and was really pulling through in a lot of the battles. I wish I had recorded some just to, kind of insert some footage at the bottom of this video, but I didn't. And OpenShot, the thing I edit with, the video editor I use, can barely handle editing normal videos, let alone two videos going at once. It, generally does not have a good time doing that, but it's the only free one I know how to use and have at the moment, so we're just going to be stuck with that. Remember when I was talking about I had to make sure the microphone wasn't doing what it did during my Dorian Electro video and completely go nuts and record the desktop audio as well with the microphone audio, because we don't want that, because it really drowns out your voice when you do that. But anyway, yes, I was working on a... Y'all hear that child scream? I was working on a Kanto-based challenge of grass Pokemon. I finally got it out. And yeah, that's where I came up with the idea for this, because I'm like, I want to make a little, thing for them. Because obviously at first you get Bulbasaur, he's your first one. And then you go quite a long way with just Bulbasaur. And let me tell you, and you get Paris pretty early-ish, but Paris isn't really that good. I love Parasect, but man, he is not the best Pokemon in the world. I wish he would get a little bit of a buff. Man, I wish my neighbors would stop revving their engine outside, just because they're rednecks doesn't mean they have to do that. But I wish Parasect would get a little bit of a buff. He needs a little bit more appreciation than he got right now, but that's fine. Also, like I said, Gloom is one of my favorites. I love Gloom so much. Gloom, ever since that episode of the anime, I have a lot of attachments to Pokemon that were in the anime specifically. Starmie, as I said, Gloom, Tangela. The anime came out when I was quite young. Pokemon came out the year I was born, so I have huge attachments to it. I have only known life with Pokemon, so, excuse me. It's just one of those things that I love Pokemon. It is one of my favorite things in the world, and I would not be me without it. I think it is a big part of me as a person. And like I said, I enjoy watching those challenge videos, just videos in general. I'm not too into competitive play stuff. I like to, competitive play with my friends, but generally most of my team comps are the ones that people hate at the most. I love, stall, health-sucking teams. So, this reminds me, I'm playing Rocket Strike right now, which is a Pokemon ROM, a ROM hack of Fire Red, and I decided I'm going to use Jumpluff, because you can catch a Hoppip pretty early on. I always grass Pokemon are one of my favorite types, besides Water is my most favorite type, I would say, but grass Pokemon I like, I guess, more of a percentage of, because there's not as many. There's some water Pokemon I just don't like. But I love almost every grass Pokemon. But I learned that Jumpluff is such a stall engine because I've equipped it currently, because this game's a little bit harder than the regular games. It's like the more adult Pokemon. Also, do you like Tangela's sketch? He's just a ball, because I was not going to sketch out those hair vines, whatever he has. I guess I could talk more about the drawing, but I'll finish the story first. So, Jumpluff is equipped with Leech Seed, Toxic, or Poison Powder, I forget which one, Giga Drain, and Synthesis. So, unless it's up against fire or flying, pretty much it's just beating the shit out of everything, and it's so funny to see that little poof ball just slowly watching like the energy drain from their eyes, and that's just them slowly dying, because that's all I've used Jumpluff for. My biggest team member is Jumpluff in that game, and it's hilarious because I have Sharpedo, Jumpluff, Donphan, Altaria, Vileplume. Am I forgetting somebody? I'm probably... Oh, and Raichu, because of course I have a Pikachu. Because Pikachu is my favorite. You know, basic white girl things. Pikachu is my favorite. But yeah, Jumpluff is the carrier of this team. I would not have beat Giovanni with that way... I was slightly underleveled, even though I battled everybody in that game. That way over-leveled Persian with every move that could take out my team. Jumpluff, he led the fight on that one. He did good. Anyway, I'll talk about the drawing a bit, because I'm just going on a rant for my love of Pokemon. Yeah, I was just like, I looked up their heights, because I wanted to get close to their sizes. I knew, like, generally Venusaur was the bigger one, but I wanted to see, like, I wanted to try to draw them in proportion with each other to the best of my ability to make it not, like, look weird in the picture, because Tangela is probably the smallest in real life. I didn't look up the size comparisons, I just looked up the heights. But, pretty sure Tangela is the shortest. I don't remember what I wrote, or Parasect. One of those two is the shortest. And I was like, I'm not gonna draw someone super tiny. I just want them all to, you know. Venusaur's a big boy. Executor is also a big boy. Victory Bell's quite the big boy, because he literally can eat James, pretty much. So, you know, it was just one of those things. But it was quite fun to draw this. I had a lot of fun actually making the vines, but I was not sketching them out. Venusaur, I do go back and put way more detail, like, into their shading and stuff. I just like to get a general base for their colors before I do anything with them, and like the shading, because I was color picking from the original images, but with how I wanted to shade it, because I usually do deeper shading, like obviously all these Pokemon, the reference images have much different shading from one another in some of them. Like Victory Bell's shading is pretty much non-existent, but Venusaur has, you know, that good 90s block shade going on. So I did edit the shading a good bit and made their outlines more pronounced so you could see it better. Out of these boys, I appreciate Tangela more after using him in the Leaf Green run. I've never used Tangela. I always like when I replay Pokemon games, especially with emulators, so I don't have to get rid of my old save files. I always regret doing that. I always feel bad doing that. But you can't replay a game when you're a kid, when you only got one version of the game without deleting a save file in Pokemon. Wish they didn't do that, but I guess it's a bit different now that stuff is on the Switch and all you gotta do is just make different accounts. Why do I always do it? But, yeah, I grew an appreciation for Tangela. Obviously he's probably much weaker in the newer games, but I was like, this boy can tank some damage. Never knew that, because like I said, I'm not too in the competitive scene, but it was quite fun. Obviously, he was leading the pack, and Vileplume, I use Vileplume in any playthrough I can get a Gloom, I'm going to be using Vileplume. Because just like Pikachu, I prefer the middle form for some reason over the evolved form. But I still like to use the evolved form because it's a little less difficult and challenging to use the evolved form. But Vileplume, obviously my toxic bitch. Like, that's just what she was used for, is tanking things and just being toxic. Venusaur, you know, he's just your average big boy. For some reason, he really wasn't pulling through the middle part of the game, and I'm like, boy, what's wrong with you? Why ain't you pulling through? You know, you got these unevolved, these Pokemon who don't have evolutions yet, like Tangela did in Gen 3, you know, doing better than you in some fights, but it's whatever. It was fun. I really recommend doing a one-type challenge in one of your favorite games. I've also never used Exeggutor before. It was quite fun. He also beat the living hell out of a lot of things, just spamming Psychic, because that's just what you do. But I would really recommend doing a one-type run, preferably a type that you enjoy. I don't really know what type I enjoy the least. I guess it'd probably be rock, steel, or ground. I'm not really a fan of any of those, just except for Golem. You could probably guess why, as I talked about other anime Pokemon before, why I like Golem the most out of any of them. I'm not a Gen 1er, I just really like a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon, because, you know, the anime's so nostalgic. Okay, so we're quite close to the end of the video. I'm drawing berries for them. They need berries. The whole concept was my team eating berries. And that's just what made this whole picture. Was my idea to make my team eat berries. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoyed the background music. I will leave with a link down below to what the background music, like the artist is. I used a lot of their royalty-free music because it's quite cool. And much cooler than some royalty-free music that's quite common. It's not that good old basic bitch YouTube music. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all try this challenge with your favorite game and type. Really, my favorite game is Emerald, but Leaf Green is the second favorite game. Because again, I got those games. Even though Pokemon came out when I was very young, I didn't get a Game Boy until I was in 3rd grade, or 2nd grade. So, you know, hope you guys enjoy. Have a awesome evening, night, morning, afternoon, and play some more Pokemon, and do some dumb challenge videos too.